Español 1, capítulo 4, sección 1, to say where someone is going. El campo. El campo means the country, as in the countryside as opposed to the city, or it can mean the field. Campo does not mean country as far as like the United States is a great country. It's only when you're referring to the countryside. El campo. And if you think of words like going camping in the campo, or that the land around a school or university is the campus, which is usually a large open field, then it may help you think of el campo. El centro comercial, the mall, literally the center commercial. El centro comercial. El gimnasio. El gimnasio. So notice that you do not say j, it's him. You might even want to write the letters H-E-E-M under the G-I-M, so you remember to say gimnasio and not gimnasio. And there's no shortened way to say that like we just say gym. It's gimnasio. El parque. El parque. El parque de diversiones. El parque de diversiones. An amusement park they call literally the park of diversions. Diversions is an English word that we really don't use very much anymore. It's something fun. It takes your mind off of. It diverts your mind from everything that you have to do to doing something fun. El parque de diversiones aquí en la foto está en Mexico. So this amusement park here in the picture is in Mexico, a little bit outside Mexico City. It's a small one. La piscina. La piscina. Oftentimes you will see a sign by the pool in Spanish that says, no hagas pipí en la piscina. Don't pee in the pool. So maybe thinking of pipí will make you think of piscina, pool. La playa. You play at the beach with your family and friends, but don't say playa. It's playa. La playa. Un partido, a game. En la foto es un partido de fútbol. So you participate in a partido. Un baile. Un baile. The word kind of looks like a ball, like Cinderella's ball, or ballet. And I have this picture for baile because the word culturally is a little bit different from what we are used to. Baile in Hispanic culture is dance is something that you might do at home with your family and friends. It's not something that is awkward and uncomfortable in a dark gym at school. And it's not always necessarily romantic. So it's very common in Hispanic culture to dance with different family members, with friends, when it's nothing romantic. Un baile. The verb to go, which you've seen before with ir al cine, but this time we're going to look at the conjugations of ir, which you can tell already by looking at it are super, super irregular. Ir, to go, if it followed the rules of conjugating, you took off the AR, ER, or IR, well, you take off the IR, there's nothing left. So that's probably why these irregular conjugations come into play. So you'll notice they all start with a V, which you'll say is a B, light B sound. Voy, vas, Va, vamos, van. So you can see that the endings are almost the same as AR verbs, o, as, a, amos, an, like the song. But this yo form, voy, is a little bit different. It's an irregular verb, but you know some other verbs that have that oy sound to them, like soy, I am. When you say, soy de los Estados Unidos, I'm from the United States. So even in their irregularity, you're going to notice some patterns with these irregular verbs. A. One of the meanings of a, and in this chapter we're going to use it to mean tú. So I'm going to the store. I'm going to the dance, to the game. And the next entry, to the, there's actually 4 different ways to say to the. It depends on what you're going to. If you're going to the beach, which is la playa, then you would say a la for to the. If you're going to the parties, the Christmas parties, fiestas, you'd say a las. If you're saying the games, are you going to the basketball games on Friday? A los, because games is masculine and plural. So I skipped this one. When you're talking about going to something, an event, a place, and it's a masculine singular noun, that means you'll be saying el for the, and it comes after a. You have to make a contraction in Spanish. You have to combine these 2 words to make the new word al. It still means to the, but it's easier to say than al partido, to the game. So if you're saying to the gym, you would say al gimnasio, because it's el gimnasio, the gym. It's a masculine word. So here's some practice. Would you use al or not? Al or no? The first one is, I go to the beach. Second, I go to the gym. Third, I go to tennis games. Fourth, I'm going to the park. And last, I'm not going to the dances in the gym. So look at these and decide which would you make a contraction out of? Which ones would have to be al? There's 2 of them that would be al, and that's voy al gimnasio and voy al parque. Those are the 2 that are masculine singular nouns, so that you would have the el in front of them to contract with the a. ¿A dónde? To where? If it's in a question, it will have the accent mark. If it's in a statement, like, I don't know where they're going to, you won't need an accent mark. ¿A dónde? We often, as English speakers, forget to use a dónde, and we just use dónde, where, in its place, because we tend to drop the word to when we are speaking about going to something. So oftentimes we'll say, where are you going? We really should say, to where are you going? But only English speakers, English teachers, and British people speak that way. We just say, where are you going? It's implied that there's a to. Well, in Spanish, you need to say, ¿a dónde? To where are you going? The example, ¿a dónde vas? To where are you going? Sección 2. To say where someone is and how someone feels. So here's that word again, very similar, ¿dónde? So, ¿a dónde? To where. ¿Dónde is just where, if you're asking where something is, where someone is. ¿Dónde estás? When it's in a statement, I don't know where they put that thing. No accent mark needed. Estar means to be. You may have noticed already that there is more than one way to say I am in Spanish. There's more than one way to say is. There's more than one way to say they are. And that's because in Spanish there's 2 verbs that mean to be. We'll talk later in the chapter about how you know when to use each. But here's the basic breakdown for estar. If you're talking about how you feel, your emotions, your physical condition, or your location, you should use a form of estar to say I am, or he is, etc. Estar is an irregular verb as well. So once again, it's irregular, but the yo form is that oy ending again. So soy, I am, voy, I'm going, estoy, I am, talking about location, feelings, or physical condition. Estás, with an accent mark. Está, estamos, están. And you've already been using these two forms since chapter 1. ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo está usted? En. En covers 3 words in English: in, on, and at when you're talking about location. So with the first example, I'm in class, estoy en clase. The second, mi libro está en la mesa. My book's on the table. We still use the word en, even though it's 2 different words in English. Estamos en el cine. We're at the movie theater. So even though it's at, you're going to use en. Cansado, tired. Cansado is an adjective, so it will agree with who it's describing or what it's describing. So if you say she's tired, we're talking about physical condition, so I'm going to use a form of estar. Ella está cansada. Enfermo. Think of the old-fashioned word for the sick room at school, the infirmary. Enfermo. The example, are you sick? ¿Estás enfermo? Ocupado. Ocupado. Busy, kind of like how we say occupied. Preoccupied is when you're worried. Preocupado. So not pre, but pre. Preocupado. Kinsey está preocupada. Bored. When aburrido is used with a form of estar, it's going to mean bored. So ellas están aburridas. They're bored. Excited. Emocionado. Emocionado. Enojado. Angry. Enojado. Mi mamá está muy enojada. Triste. This one ends in an e and the e, so you can't make it masculine or feminine. You can make it plural if you were 2 little girls and you said they're sad. But triste. Nervioso. Nervous. The example, estoy un poco nervioso. De buen humor, of good humor, literally, to say in a good mood. This will not agree with what it describes since it's not an adjective, it's a prepositional phrase. So to say he's in a good mood, él está de buen humor. It would not change at all if you said she's in a good mood. Ella está de buen humor. If you said they're in a good mood, ellos están de buen humor. You won't make it plural. De mal humor. Of bad humor. Y esto es Secciones 1 y 2.